He's not winning any rounds. Oh, there's a hard right hand. And now on the ropes and out of the ring goes Fernandez.
Franck Sánchez isn't just another heavyweight contender. He's one of the more technically solid heavyweights in the division. A product of Cuba's elite boxing system, Sánchez blends slick footwork, sharp counters, and icy composure in a division built on chaos. Franck Sánchez Foray was born on July 18, 1992, in Guantanamo, Cuba. Growing up in Cuba, boxing isn't just a hobby, it's a highly disciplined, state-sponsored system. Because professional boxing was banned on the island for decades, the entire focus was on amateur mastery. Sánchez entered this system at a young age, absorbing the hallmark traits of the Cuban school: flawless footwork, lateral movement, defensive responsibility, and the ability to hit without getting hit. In the amateurs, Sánchez was elite. He racked up over 200 fights. To put that in perspective for casual fans, most top American or British pros enter the professional ranks with maybe 30 to 50 amateur bouts. Sánchez was fighting the absolute best of the best, even holding a victory over Cuba's legendary Arislandi Savan. But the amateur system has a ceiling. If you want generational wealth and a true world championship, you have to leave. In 2016, Sánchez made the agonizing decision to defect from Cuba, leaving his homeland behind to pursue a professional career in the United States, eventually settling and training out of Florida. Sánchez made his professional debut in late 2017. Sánchez started his pro career like a runaway freight train. He debuted by stopping Justin Thornton in one round, followed by quick TKO wins over Manuel Eastman, Juan Reyna, Brian Green, and Eric Salazar. 5 fights, 5 stoppages, barely breaking a sweat. A brief drop down to cruiserweight weight limits just to stay active. Sánchez blasted Austin out in the first round. A strange night in Reno. The fight ended in a no contest just 16 seconds into the second round after a chaotic sequence where Lamont Capers went through the ropes. Sánchez went right back to work, outpointing Miguel Cubos over 6 rounds, stopping Francois Russell in 2, shutting out the durable Garrett Wilson over 6, and scoring back-to-back brutal knockouts against Carlos Reyes, round 1, and Willie Jake Jr., round 2. This was Sanchez's step up in visibility on a major undercard. He dismantled Bergman, stopping him in the second round in Minneapolis.
Victor Bisbal, amateur star and former Cuban national heavyweight champion, introducing the undefeated Frank, the Cuban Flash Sánchez.
Sánchez fought veteran Victor Bisbal for the vacant WBO/ABO heavyweight title, forcing Bisbal to retire on his stool after 4 rounds of punishment. Mulawai came to survive, and Sánchez put on a technical clinic, winning a wide 10-round unanimous decision to retain his NABO belt. His first real test of distance. Fighting at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, Sánchez won a shutout 10-round decision against a notorious Philly gatekeeper, adding the vacant WBC Continental Americas title to his waist. He knocked out Brian Howard in 4 rounds on Premier Television, and just a month later, violently knocked Julian Fernandez completely out of the ring in round 7. A frustrating night on the Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders undercard. Sánchez was dominating, but the fight went to the scorecards early in round 6 after an unintentional foul left Aguilera unable to continue. Sánchez won a technical decision.
Attention, good hook by Sánchez. He's been able to answer against Ajagba.
Ajagba was a feared, undefeated Nigerian puncher. Casual fans expected a war, but Sánchez put on an absolute masterclass. He dropped Ajagba in the 7th and cruised to a wide, unanimous decision, proving his technical superiority.
Already veteran, introducing Christian Hammer.
Stepping in on short notice, Sánchez pitched another 10-round shutout against a highly experienced, rugged European veteran. On another major PPV undercard, Sánchez showed off his closing ability, systematically breaking down the tough Puerto Rican and securing a 9th-round TKO. Frank's fight with Daniel Martz was a stay-busy fight that lasted all of 101 seconds. Sánchez blew him away with a first-round knockout. Headlining the Canelo Charlo undercard, Sánchez forced Alexander to retire after 4 one-sided rounds. On the massive Day of Reckoning card in Saudi Arabia, Sánchez faced former top contender Junior Fa. He struggled early with Fa's length, but adapted beautifully, dropping him 3 times to force a 7th-round stoppage.
And down he goes for the 3rd time. Looking across at the corner, they're showing concern, and why not? Yeah, this should stop this fight. And the referee...
Facing the heavily underrated German tactician Agit Kabayel in Riyadh, Sánchez looked sluggish, later revealed to be dealing with knee issues. Kabayel targeted Sanchez's body relentlessly, dropping him twice in the 7th round to hand the Cuban his first professional loss. The hype train appeared completely derailed. Rebuilding time. Sánchez traveled to Tijuana, Mexico, taking out some frustration by stopping Echeverria in 3 easy rounds. Which brings us to Egypt. Entering as an afterthought against a heavily favored, undefeated Olympic silver medalist, Sánchez turned back the clock. Under the guidance of master trainer Eddie Reynoso, he anticipated Torres's aggression and closed the show with a legendary 2nd-round KO.
From Franck Sánchez, and out in the 2nd round. How about that? 1 shot, all over. Wow! And Franck Sánchez has won this IBF heavyweight title eliminator in dramatic fashion.
Following the destruction of Torres, Franck Sánchez sits at a beautiful 26 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest, with 19 knockouts. For a guy who gets labeled as a pure boxer, a 73% knockout ratio is remarkably high. So how does his style actually work? And who does it favor? Sánchez stands 6 feet 4 inches with a 78-inch reach. In the modern heavyweight division, where guys like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are 6 feet 6 inches to 6 feet 9 inches, Sánchez is actually on the slightly smaller side. Because of this, his style relies heavily on counter-punching and spatial awareness. His nickname is the Cuban Flash for a reason. He has some of the fastest hands in the heavyweight division. His style heavily favors matchups against aggressive, come-forward power punchers. If you are a heavyweight who relies on bullying your opponent, walking them down, and throwing heavy looping shots, like Ifya Jokba or Richard Torres Jr., Franck Sánchez is your worst nightmare. He will slice you to pieces on the counter. However, his style struggles against highly disciplined, high-volume pressure fighters who attack the body, which is exactly what Agit Kabayel did. If an opponent refuses to headhunt and instead smothers Sanchez's movement by targeting his ribs, it takes the spring out of his Cuban footwork. Now that Sánchez has won the IBF final eliminator, he has put himself back into mandatory challenger territory. Right after the fight, he looked directly at the camera and said, "Usyk, we're ready for you whenever you want." But realistically, what is the best next move for him? Drop a comment if you think that fight should happen, especially after Usyk's fight with Rico, where he seemed very different than his usual self. From the strict amateur gyms of Guantanamo to defection, to the absolute peak of PPV undercards, and finally to a historic knockout under the Egyptian night sky, the Cuban Flash is back, he's dangerous, and he's hunting for a world title. But what do you guys think? Does Franck Sánchez have what it takes to beat Oleksandr Usyk? Do you want to see a Agit Kabayel rematch? Was the Torres knockout just a lucky punch? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, slam that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you want to see more boxing breakdowns. Take care.